Good evening and welcome to Ignite News on 6 at 6. It's Friday, December 19th, 2025. I'm Rihanna Nikram. Thanks for joining us. Here are the headlines. President Ali pledges new storage and high-value crops to boost Ghana's rice industry amid global market challenges. Guyana-Suriname strengthened business ties as more Guyanese products enter the Suriname market. At her funeral today, Ambassador Elizabeth Harper was remembered as a mentor, trailblazer, and national treasure. And Main Street exhibition of indigenous culture comes to a close. A bold new plan is in the making to transform Ghana's rice industry, with focus on agribusiness diversification and increased storage capacity as critical pillars for sustainability. Speaking with rice farmers at the Skeldon Estate Region 6, President Dr. Irfan Ali said his government is working on introducing high-value alternatives alongside rice cultivation.
I'm going to bring in experts from around the world to see how in every 10 acres we can convert 1 acre into an alternative crop. Whether we do cage farming for crab, which has high value, big market, we can put a processing plant to do the crab meat. So for every 10 acres of rice farm, we have to have 1 acre of high yielding production. You agree with this? And we're going to invest to help you to do this. That is what is called agro-business diversification.
The president also emphasized that building storage facilities is now a national priority, given the current volatility of the global rice market.
In all of the rice-producing regions, we have to now build storage capacity, the government, where we will stockpile also. So we can stockpile, we have to have the capacity nationally to stockpile maybe 5 million tons of rice. Because we want rice to succeed, we want you to continue to plant, we want to continue to invest in better variety to give you higher yield. So we have to have the appropriate infrastructure to support these investments.
Dr. Ali also acknowledged the heavy pressures facing the rice sector due to falling global prices, oversupply, dumping, bumper crops worldwide, and outstanding export payments.
It's a very complex environment we're operating. And as government, we are trying to navigate through that program.
President Ali reaffirmed his administration's commitment to rice farmers, pointing out that all efforts will be made to work with them to ensure they succeed. Residents are welcoming the government's new city revival plan aimed at restoring Georgetown's historic charm while transforming it into a modern, sustainable garden city. President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali unveiled the plan on Tuesday, calling it the cornerstone of a nationwide push for sustainable urban growth. Developed with the King's Foundation, the plan blends heritage preservation with modern infrastructure and environmental resilience. Highlights include the restoration of landmarks like the Transport and Harbors Building and the old train station, which will be converted into a museum and training hub. The Starbuck waterfront and market are set for modernization. Canals will be upgraded to support tourism, and new green spaces will be revitalized.
I lived through times like Bornham, where the city was the garden city. But now things has changed, right? And our city has fallen apart. Everywhere stinking and dirty, right? So now Irfan Ali promised to take the city in full control and bring it back to the garden city. And I believe because he has a vision.
When I heard that the ruling party had gained a lot of votes on Region 4, that was the first thing came to my mind. First of all, I thought, well, we're going to be revamped in Starbuck area. Since President Ali took over, there has been, I know he didn't do it all by himself, but there has been a massive increase of progress, development in Ghana generally.
I think it's a good impact it brings to the people of the country. Likewise, the Stelling Tap where they're redoing. They got a lot more work to be done, but I think within the system and everything that's going on, it benefits us as people of this country. Likewise, it helps me along with the business place I got here every day. People traverse here, so when the stelling is done, it gives the people more space, more passage, so we could go ahead with the business.
The way I feel is that there got a lot of things to be done, around the country. A lot of trash everywhere, It's a real good initiative.
The plan will also tackle urban challenges, prioritizing flood resilience, improved waste management, expanded housing, and a modern transport system to ease congestion. These efforts align with the government's low-carbon development strategy 2030. President Ali stressed that success will depend on collaboration between government, the private sector, and citizens. The initiative builds on recent investments, including drainage upgrades, new housing, road improvements, and the new Demerara River Bridge. Business collaboration opportunities between Ghana and Suriname are strengthening and expanding as Ghana moves towards having more of its products featured on the Suriname market. This is according to Chairman of the Suriname-Ghana Chamber of Commerce, Dr. Vishnu Durga. Dr. Durga told Ignite News that the presidents of both countries recently met and are scheduled to participate in the upcoming International Business Conference, IBC, where they will present their visions for development and closer collaboration on a range of issues.
The Suriname-Guyana Chamber, that has been in existence now for over 2 years, has been lobbying for these particular areas to really be addressed, and we're happy to see this happening because for us as growing Guyanese companies, and of course on the Suriname side growing Surinamese companies, you can only grow as much as the market allows you. So the medium and large companies that are now really serving Guyana well need spaces to grow into, especially where demand exists for their products.
Dr. Duda noted that with thousands of Guyanese living in Suriname, the demand for Guyanese products is high, and the Chamber is working to ensure that they make their way onto the market. He said the partnership with the World Trade Center Georgetown in hosting this year's business conference is helping to make this become a reality.
So a lot is happening, and that's what we're very proud of, and we're very happy to have partners like the World Trade Center based here in Georgetown come on board and really provide that level of platform and support that we need to accelerate the process.
The business conference returns to Georgetown, Guyana for a third edition from October 14th to 16th, with Ghana-Suriname taking center stage. Rotating annually between the two countries, it promotes binational cooperation, creating a dynamic space where deals are made, partnerships are forged, and the future of regional commerce is shaped. When we return, funeral service held for Ambassador Harper. President Ali unveils plan for 50 new dialysis units, and the Tasinpansa festival comes to a close.
Your business is built on hard work, vision, and the drive to succeed. At GBTI, we understand what it takes to grow. That's why we offer Grow, a small business service designed to help your business expand, adapt, and reach its full potential. From new opportunities to new milestones, we're here to support you every step of the way. Grow from GBTI. Progress starts here.
Welcome back. Today, Ghana laid to rest Ambassador Elizabeth Harper, one of the nation's most respected diplomats and public servants. The funeral service was held at the Artichon Conference Center, where leaders, diplomats, colleagues, friends, and family gathered to honor her remarkable life. Harper joined the Foreign Service in 1976 and served nearly 5 decades with distinction. She rose to the post of Director General, Permanent Secretary, and Guyana's Ambassador to CARICOM. Colleagues described her as dedicated, brilliant, and quietly strong, a leader who inspired all who worked with her. One such voice was Crystal Grant, her former personal assistant, who said what began as a simple job offer grew into a lifelong bond of mentorship and friendship.
People usually say that nobody is perfect, but I say with conviction, Elizabeth Ann Harper, Liz, or as many call her Auntie Liz, was the perfect human being. And along with everything that's been said over the past few days, I will prove it by simply using the initials of her name, ELISABETH.
Harper was remembered as a trailblazer for women in diplomacy, a mentor to young officers, and a leader who combined excellence with humanity. President Dr. Irfan Ali, who attended with senior officials, reflected on her passing as a great loss, both for Guyana and for him personally.
Guyana has lost its finest foreign service official ever. And I've lost a friend and someone whom I've had the highest respect and regards for. I extend to her grieving husband, her children, her siblings, grandchildren, family members, and friends my profound condolences. Liz, as she was so affectionately called, worked for the entirety of her career in the Foreign Service. She left an example that reminds us that diplomacy is not only about the pursuit of state interests, but also about the men and women who give life to those interests through selfless and unremitting service.
Tributes poured in from across Guyana and the Caribbean, underscoring her influence in shaping regional diplomacy and guiding generations of officers. As she was laid to rest, the message was clear. Ambassador Harper leaves behind a legacy of service, mentorship, and national pride that will endure far beyond today's farewell. President Dr. Irfan Ali has announced a major upgrade for Ghana's healthcare system. 15 new dialysis units will become operational before the year ends. These will be set up in Regions 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 10. The President made the announcement while outlining plans to expand primary health care. In the last 3 years, 25 new health centers and posts have already been built, with another 10 under construction. Each center will offer more than 100 interventions, including routine lab tests and treatment for diabetes, hypertension, and heart disease.
Expansion in our healthcare system continues. Over the last 3 years, 25 new health centers and health posts have been added. This year, we have 10 new facilities under construction. At each health center, we'll aim to deliver a minimum of 116 different health interventions, including those for non-communicable diseases such as diabetes, hypertension, and heart disease.
For many Guyanese, dialysis has meant both financial and emotional strain. Private treatment can cost $12,000 to $15,000 per session, with patients often needing 2 or 3 per week. While government subsidies of $600,000 a year help, families still struggle to keep up, and many travel hours from remote regions to access care in Georgetown.
We want to ensure that we invest heavily in primary health care, preventative medicine, through public education, early screening, early access to lab facilities and testing, so that we can have not only an effective primary healthcare system that protects persons or reduces the risk that we have in terms of the type of diseases that we have now, but also ensuring that the next generation of Guyanese who are coming up, that from a very early age, we have enough data, enough screening to support a long and healthy life among those persons.
The new dialysis units aim to ease that burden by bringing treatment closer to patients in Regions 2, 5, 6, and 10. The government is also reviewing additional support programs to reduce out-of-pocket costs, with a long-term goal of making care more affordable and accessible for every family. The Tasinpansa festival came to a close yesterday after Main Street was transformed into an exhibition site, showcasing unique indigenous culture as part of Amerindian Heritage Month 2025. Patrons were treated to handmade crafts, traditional cuisine, art, a fashion show, and a concert. Local exhibitors expressed excitement about the opportunity to share their various products with the public.
My name is Cherise Thomas. I am from Region 2, Rockapo, but I live over the west side, right? Well, today I will be having Paiwari fly. We have the tuma. I'm going to get also laba, deer, wild hog, bush cow, and like beef, chicken, calabrese, pork.
My name is Pamela English, formerly Solomon, from a place called Hotororo in Region 1. I am originally in Georgetown, but I've made some drinks for this heritage called the potato wine, everyone knows as fly wine. But this drink is made from a potato called black potato, only to make the wine, not in any food or so. You can drink it as soon as you make it. You can drink it fresh, like a Kool-Aid, and then leave it to ferment. The mayo usually be 6 weeks to get it strong with sugar, and this is how it becomes. This is the color. After it starts fermenting, So that's it so far. It's a lovely drink. This is also good for diabetes.
The event began with a cultural marketplace that offered several items, including hand-woven baskets, jewelry, cassava bread, and pepper pot. A number of exquisite pieces inspired by the traditional wear of Amerindian tribes were showcased during the fashion show. Designs were created by Vander's Designs, Abigail's Designs, Darcy, Daryl and Dolly's Chambers, Marcella and Banasi Alicock, Natasha David, Galina da Silver and Selena Phillips, Matbi Designs, and Matt and Ann Designs. A major narcotics bust at Soesdijk earlier this week has resulted in the conviction of one man, while charges against his co-accused were withdrawn. The Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit says officers acting on intelligence raided a residence at Lot 34 Soesdijk Public Road, East Bank, Demerara, on Wednesday. The operation uncovered 292 grams of cannabis, 75 grams of methamphetamine, 36 grams of cocaine, and 74 grams of ecstasy. Two people, Phil Cameron and Abigail Ben, were arrested and charged with possession of narcotics for trafficking. On Friday at the Friendship Magistrates Court, Cameron pleaded guilty to all charges and was sentenced to 4 years in prison and fined $30,000. Ben pleaded not guilty, but after Cameron admitted sole responsibility, her charges were withdrawn. Kanu says investigations are ongoing as part of his broader effort to dismantle trafficking networks and curb the flow of illegal drugs across Guyana. Authorities also raised concerns about the growing prevalence of synthetic drugs like methamphetamine and ecstasy, warning of their dangers to public health. The bust highlights Kanu's intensified operations along the East Bank Demerara, a known hotspot for narcotics trafficking. When we come back, major upgrades planned for number 63 Beach. Guyana sporting facilities set for a boost. And Igloo Ice Cream shows its support behind Pee Wee football.
Your business is built on hard work, vision, and the drive to succeed. At GBTI, we understand what it takes to grow. That's why we offer Grow, a small business service designed to help your business expand, adapt, and reach its full potential. From new opportunities to new milestones, we're here to support you every step of the way. Grow from GBTI. Progress starts here.
You're watching Ignite News on 6 at 6. Thanks for staying with us. Number 63 Beach in Region 6 is undergoing a major transformation to become one of Ghana's premier tourism landmarks. Tourism Minister Susan Rodriguez, joined by Ghana Tourism Authority Director Kamal Baksh, visited the site on Wednesday to review ongoing works. The upgrades fall under the National Beautification Project, led by the Office of the First Lady, in collaboration with the Ministry of Public Works and the Regional Democratic Council. Minister Rodriguez said the beach is already popular, but with new facilities and improvements, it will become a landmark attraction for both locals and visitors. She also pointed to wider developments in the region, including the world-class stadium at Palmyra and the Corentyne River Bridge, which are expected to boost tourism. Number 63 Beach is slated to become a hub for leisure and entertainment, with detailed development plans soon to be rolled out. Minister within the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport, Stephen Jacobs, says all of Ghana's sporting facilities will soon benefit from a comprehensive maintenance program aimed at strengthening the country's sports infrastructure. Speaking during inspections at the National Rocket Center and the National Aquatic Center on Thursday, Jacobs explained that the effort goes beyond routine upkeep. The strategy includes assessing each facility and developing targeted plans for repairs and upgrades. Jacobs stressed the initiative is not only about elite athletes, but also about creating safe, accessible hubs for training, competition, and recreation. Some projects are already underway. A new tennis court will soon be commissioned at the National Park, while the Rocket Center is preparing to open a new multi-purpose facility for badminton and table tennis. Air conditioning is also set to be installed at the squash courts, and new lighting for tennis courts is on the way. Jacobs reaffirmed the ministry's commitment to giving athletes the resources to excel nationally and internationally, while encouraging healthier lifestyles for citizens. In sports, Starling Products, under its Igloo Ice Cream brand, has pledged support for the Courts Optical Pee Wee football tournament. At a press conference yesterday, Chief Executive Officer Ramzi Ali praised the initiative.
This is exceptional, and I'm very pleased that we can be a part of this. Sure, we try to put financial resources also, but I'm sure my PR officer and my marketing people will assist in other ways that we can to make sure that at the end of the day, people are happy and it's a good, well-organized tournament. And at the end of the day, everybody comes out winners, including, as Delon said, the winners.
Marketing manager Delon Lynch also spoke about the impact of youth tournaments.
At Sterling Products Limited, we believe that investing in programs like this is more than a sponsorship. It's a commitment to community, to health and well-being, and to the development of the next generation of leaders. Football has the power to connect neighborhoods, build character, and open doors. That's why we remain committed partners, and we look forward to many more years of collaboration.
Representative of the Petro organization, Troy Peters, thanked Sterling Products for their contribution to the tournament. The tournament will kick off this Saturday with preliminary entry qualifiers at the Ministry of Education ground from 10 a.m. Trinidad and Tobago has ended a nearly decade-long medal drought at global track and field meets, thanks to 2 standout performances at the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo. Keyshawn Walcott struck gold in the men's javelin with a throw of 88.16 meters, securing his first ever World Championship medal after 13 years. The 2-time Olympic medalist called the victory the fulfillment of a lifelong dream. Grenada's Anderson Peters, a 2-time world champion, took silver, while United States' Curtis Thompson earned bronze. Adding to TNT celebrations, Jereme Richards claimed silver in the men's 400 meters, bringing home the nation's 2nd medal of the competition. Results sparked pride and relief among fans, marking Trinidad and Tobago's long-awaited return to the world stage. Still ahead, Venezuela arms civilians as Maduro warns of a U.S. threat. A judge tosses Trump's defamation suit against the New York Times. An UN AIDS agency faces possible closure by 2026. Welcome back. The Nicolas Maduro government is moving to arm civilians. Venezuelan soldiers will enter poor neighborhoods this weekend to train civilians in weapons use, part of President Nicolas Maduro's response to what he calls a looming U.S. invasion threat. Maduro announced yesterday that troops will teach members of a civilian militia to handle weapons systems, marking the first time military arms will be taken from barracks into communities for training. The move comes amid the largest U.S. naval deployment in the Caribbean in decades. American forces recently struck 2 Venezuelan boats accused of transporting drugs and intercepted a fishing vessel for hours. Caracas responded with 3 days of military drills on the island of La Orchilla, near where U.S. ships are operating. Maduro, accused by Washington of running a drug cartel, insists the U.S. is preparing an attack on Venezuelan territory. In international news, a federal judge has dismissed Donald Trump's $15 billion defamation lawsuit against the New York Times, calling it an improper attempt to attack a political rival. Judge Stephen Merriday, sitting in Tampa, Florida, said Trump's complaint failed to meet basic legal standards, noting it should be short, plain, precise, and sober. Instead, the judge said it read like a public forum for invective rather than a valid case. The lawsuit targeted the newspaper over its reporting, but Merriday ruled the filing violated federal civil procedure. Trump has been given 28 days to resubmit an amended complaint, limited to no more than 40 pages. Finally, this evening, the United Nations agency leading the fight against HIV and AIDS could close its door by the end of 2026. According to UN restructuring plan published this week, UNAIDS would sunset as part of efforts to cope with a severe funding crisis made worse by U.S. aid cuts under President Donald Trump. The plan proposes shifting UNAIDS expertise into the broader UN system, but the agency says its own transition already includes a 55% staff reduction and a full review in 2027. Since its funding in 1996, UNAIDS has helped cut global AIDS-related deaths in half, from 1.3 million in 2010 to 630,000 in 2023. But nearly 1/4 of people living with HIV still lack access to life-saving treatment, and infections are rising in some regions. UNAIDS warns a global response is at risk, and the goal of ending AIDS by 2030 is slipping further away. And that's all for this edition of Ignite News on 6 at 6. For more stories, visit ignitenews.com or follow us on social media. Thanks for watching. I'm Rihanna Nikram. See you next time for more Ignite News.